Okay, Happy New Year. Happy Friday. So, gonna make a New Year's resolution. Gonna start playing my gear more. I haven't been playing for a long time because I smashed my finger if you didn't watch that other video. Anyway, this is gonna be story time today. So, this is how I ruined my brother Bryan. Bryan, I know you gave me permission on this. I promise I won't say anything real stupid. Not real stupid, but maybe. Anyway, so Bryan was in the Hare Krishna for a while. And when I was growing up, I grew up in the 80s and I heard lots of music. And, the 80s were the 80s. So Bryan wasn't, when he was in the Krishna, it's like he didn't have a chance to really get in on that. He was too busy eating fruit and chanting and stuff. I don't know what they did. But, it was a religious thing. It's like, it's all cool stuff. Anyway, so I don't remember exactly what year it was. I think I might have been working for Jim Rosenbaum. Anyway, I had the weekend off, and it was a Friday afternoon. Bryan had come down on Thursday night and spent the night in the park in Sterling, Colorado, and there were some kids out there. It was summertime. There were some kids out there drinking beer, listening to music. Anyway, he heard this one song, and he couldn't get it out of his head because he didn't get to listen to heavy metal or anything like that, or the radio or anything like that. So he hears this song. So now I collected music. I had tapes, man, dude. I still have them. I got bags full of stuff, man. Anyway, I had them down in my room in my basement. I also had some earphones. Anyway, Bryan comes to the house. And this is like Friday morning. I've gone to work. And I come home at about 4 o'clock. And usually, Mom and Dad were sitting in the kitchen. And I walked in and I said, "Hey, Mom, hey, Dad." And the first thing Mom does is "Your brother's been in the basement all day and I don't know what he's doing." Now, Bryan has always told me that, "Dude, your room's possessed." I thought maybe he was tearing stuff down and repainting. Hell, who knows? Anyway, the first thing in my mind is like, oh my God, he's going to tear up my stuff. So now, with that being said, Bryan's kind of a messy little person. Bryan, you're a messy little dude. You don't take care of your stuff very well. And so I go downstairs, and I'm hell-bent on finding out what Bryan's doing in my room. And I come down there, Bryan's got the big muff earphones on, and he's listening to music. He's taken every tape. Like, I had all my tapes alphabetized. I had them all alphabetized and by name and everything. He was just taking them willy-nilly, looking for this song. He would take one out, and he would just set it over here. Instead of putting it back in the case, Bryan would just set it. I had tapes everywhere. He'd been doing this for like 6 hours, looking for this one song. And in the process, Bryan has gnawed on an apple, a banana, grapes. There's grape pits, there's peach pits and shit all over my room. It's like he's a messy little person. Anyway, I come down there and I said, "Bryan, what are you doing?" It just scared the bejesus out of him, scared to death. I said, "What are you doing, man? You're like wrecking all my tapes. What's going on?" He's like, "So I was looking for this one song. I heard this song, and it starts out with a bell. It's like bong, bong, bong. It's this one. Dude, it was the first one in the tape case. If you would have started like a normal human being, you would have started out with Hell's Bells, bud." That was the song that got him started on AC/DC. And he's like, "Man, dude, that's just great rock and roll music. Great rock and roll." And I said, "Man, dude, are you happy now? Help me put this stuff back together." So we closed the tapes up and all that. So anyway, I had the weekend off, and Bryan was going to be there all weekend. And so I I said, dude, let's rent some movies. And so Brian's not supposed to. I mean, he's supposed to be celibate and no drugs and no sexual TV stuff, right? And so I didn't really understand that. I just didn't care. So I said, let's go rent some movies. Now, back in the day, this is before I started at Walmart. And so we go and we take a trip to Sterling, and we had to rent a VCR. We rented a VCR in a big case, and we rented, oh God, I can't remember. We rented The Terminator, of course, and then we rented something else. And I don't remember if it was Blade Runner or what it was. Anyway, Bryan had never seen The Terminator. And so we hooked it up with the old cables and all that stuff to the old TV upstairs. And so, of course, it's violent. Absolutely, it's violent. But it's got some sexual scenes in it with Sarah Jane Hamilton or whatever. Anyway, so Bryan wasn't supposed to drink a whole bunch of sugar and caffeine and stuff. Caffeine's considered a drug. And I turned him on to Mountain Dew. So Mountain Dew's fantastic stuff, right? In moderation. But, Bryan, he'd never had Mountain Dew like that. And so I think we had a six-pack in there, and I said, Bryan, you want a Mountain Dew? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? Dude, it was like giving a 4-year-old a pot of coffee. No joke. I mean, Bryan was like, bingity, 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 bingity. I mean, that much sugar and that much caffeine, it was fantastic. So anyway, we're watching The Terminator, and Bryan's, all into it, and he's watching, and pretty soon he gets to the sex scene, and he's doing one of these. Oh my God, I can't look. Oh my God, Brett, you should have told me it was heavy. Dude, you're watching the whole damn thing anyway. And so, that's where Bryan kind of got in a little trouble. But anyway, doesn't matter. We ended up taking the movies back. It was a good time. I got to hang with my brother and turn him on to some music and all that. It was fantastic. And I laugh pretty hard about that. I still think about it to this day. So anyway, New Year's resolutions. More gear, less gear. What am I going to do? I'm going to figure out the gear that I got, man. I got gear. I just bought a new TV. Like, I got to figure that out, too. I did realize that you have to stretch. So last night I started fiddling around. I mean, you got to stretch fingers. I haven't played in about a year. I seriously played. And so my hand hurt a little bit this morning, and got to get back into it. One of the reasons was my nephew Brody, great nephew Brody. He's at the Berkeley School of Music. He's a goddamn guitar wizard, and I watched him playing some stuff on there, and I felt inept. I mean, I'm not going to be doing anything cool and crazy like that, but I'm going to try. I'll make some noise. Who cares? Anyway, man, everybody have a good New Year. I wanted to just, I told him, Bryan, I'd share that story. And, in turn, he helped me, he got me a little bit more, not religious, a little bit more spiritual on some stuff. And we talk about certain things and about, I get pissed off and he calms me down. Imagine that. So, anyway, have a glorious evening. Happy Friday. Everybody be good. Have a good New Year. We'll talk to you.